Hello, I'm Tom. I'm a 66-year-old runner. I just turned 66 October 22nd. Today's video is going to be about consistency. We'll discuss what consistency is, why it is so important, and we'll talk about a couple of things that can sabotage our consistency. Like and subscribe, and enjoy the video. Thanks.
And off they go. St. Patrick's Day, the annual Lucky Rover 5K 10K Road in Trail underway.
Most of us know basically what consistency in running is. Essentially, I would say that it has to do with sticking to our schedule, whatever that may be, our running schedule, day after day, week after week, month after month, and year after year, with very few missed days. Our own running schedule, like my running schedule, is only about 3 days a week. So for me, consistency would be to run 3 days a week without a break in that particular schedule. There are planned missed days, but to avoid as many unscheduled missed days as possible. So why is consistency in running so important? Well, the more consistent you are, the more adaptations will take place. If you're inconsistent and miss several days of running, then you're not going to get those adaptations that are necessary. What do I mean by adaptations? Basically, positive adaptations, positive changes in your body that happen from consistent running. This can mean increased capillaries in our muscles, more mitochondria being built, and also just changes in our muscles and bones as well. I know that when I began running about 4 years ago, I began with a couch to 5K, and it was interesting how my body reacted to this increased stress of running. I began to feel pains in all sorts of odd places in my body. For example, a few weeks into the couch to 5K, I began to get these weird pains in my sides, both sides. It wasn't like a cramp, but it was just an odd pain that took place in my side, of all things. And of course, I had other more typical pains as well, pains in the knee, was getting pains in the hips. It came to a place halfway through the couch 5K where I took a unplanned cutback week, reduced my mileage a little bit, and then things eased off a bit, and I continued. It was about a 9 or 10 week couch to 5K. I can only describe it as a weird morphing that was taking place. Maybe sort of like a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. Well, some really weird changes took place in my body, and and my body changed shape as well. This was part of a not just pounds coming off, which they did, but my muscles, my leg muscles definitely increased in tone, and they started taking a different shape, and it was kind of an interesting thing that took place. Well, anyway, adaptations. So positive adaptations take place, but they can only take place when our running is consistent. When we take several unplanned days off in a row, these adaptations stop happening. And in fact, a little bit of a reversal may take place. And then you need to start over again. And this is not a desirable thing to happen. We don't want to lose what we gained during this process. So I have done quite a bit of reading, watching a lot of videos on this topic of consistency in running, and there's not a whole lot of it. The coach that I found most helpful uh, would be Coach Greg McMillan, professional coach, coached a lot of elite runners, and he devoted a short chapter to consistency in running, and he, of course, mentioned consistency is king. Greg McMillan emphasized the fact that our cardiorespiratory fitness improves at a much faster rate than our bones, muscles, ligaments, tendons can handle. They take quite a bit longer to gain fitness than our heart and lungs. So this presents a problem, especially for runners that are beginning runners, that they start showing signs that their fitness is improving and they want to build up a lot faster. Okay, there are two roadblocks to consistency in running that I'm going to talk about in this video. The first problem has to do with injuries. If you're injured, then you got to take unplanned days off and you lose fitness. And so that kind of goes without saying. And so that definitely gets in the way of consistency. The second thing that prevents consistency are motivational factors. So for those, especially with beginning runners who may not have the motivation to run consistently. So I'm going to discuss both of these. Injuries are definitely a problem that can prevent us from running consistently. If you've been following my videos at all, then you'll know that I have not been a very consistent runner due to injuries. I have plenty of motivation. In fact, I have too much motivation to where I want to push myself too hard. So it's important to learn how to hold yourself back, be a good self-coach, and listen to your body and know when to hold back so that you don't push yourself too hard and get injured. It's pretty much a cliche, listen to your body. But it is so true. It's a cliche because there's a lot of truth to it. By the way, today I ran 4 miles, which is the longest that I've run since August 3rd, where I ran a 5 miler. And as you may know, I'm applying the run, walk, run method. So that 5 miler back on August 3rd was a continuous run before I started applying run, walk, running to my running routine. So today I did 4 miles of run, walk, running, and I'm happy to say that my calves held up really good. Calves are my problem. So I went into this today definitely listening to my body. Now, I'm 66, so I'm always going to have little niggles, little, maybe you might even call them phantom pains, things that just don't quite feel right. And if I didn't run because of every single little niggle that took place, I would never run again for the rest of my life. I mean, I've always got aches and pains. So the trick to listening to your body is to know uh, what little niggles are precursors to an actual injury and what are things that I can just go ahead and run through. For example, today, when I was using before my run, I was using the massage gun on my calves. And that, by the way, I recommend using a massage gun, not only because good, it's a good exercise that may help prevent injury and loosen up your muscles before a workout, but it also, I've noticed with the massage gun that I actually can feel soreness from the massage gun action that I don't normally feel even when I'm walking. So it's a good indicator of just how much pain my calves are feeling and just how many niggles are there. So I actually can feel actual muscle soreness more with the massage gun, or even a slight niggle injury pain, even if I don't feel it during a run. So that's kind of an interesting thing that might add to your ability to listen to your body. So I did feel my left calf did have some soreness that my right calf did not have. I took note of that before I went out for my run today. And also, as far as listening to my body, when I began the run, I noticed that, of all things, my left Achilles tendon had a slight pain to it, and very mild, the type of thing where, well, this is not something that I should stop the run over. So I continued to run. I felt it was okay to continue to run, and that little tiny pain went away. So I've noticed the same thing with my right knee recently, that there's been a few little pains in the right knee that just kind of come and go. And it's the type of thing where I'm definitely not going to stop running over these types of little pains. Of course, if they flare up and get worse, then yes, that would be a cause to stop running. So that's an example of listening to your body. Also, with injuries, injury prevention is definitely the single most important thing that you should consider. And you should always be doing exercises, strength training, both for your core and for the legs. As I've mentioned several times, I'm doing hill sprints. At age 66, they're not exactly sprints. And a lot of coaches recommend these. Brad Hudson is the one that really pushes hill sprints the most, not just for injury prevention, but they develop the sprint speed muscles, and they just simply help you to become a better runner. They prepare you for the later interval training and speed training that's going to be happening on flat ground later. Because calves are my big challenge, I also do something called eccentric calf strengthening exercises, which are kind of like the calf raises, except the downward movement is the thing that goes really slow. It's an eccentric movement. And just from watching videos, and even my physical therapist had me doing that as well for calf strengthening. So that's a good thing to do to develop the calf muscles. So anyway, that's just my example of do those strength exercises that are going to prevent injury, running related injuries. That's very important. So wherever your point of vulnerability is in your running, well, search YouTube, search the internet, ask your physical therapist to give you exercises, whether it's exercises to strengthen the muscles surrounding the knees. If you have knee pain, just do whatever it takes to do those strength exercises to prevent injuries. The second thing that can get in the way of consistency in our running would be a lack of motivation. Uh, my problem is personally, my problem is the opposite. I have too much motivation, and so I tend to push myself too hard and, get injured and have to take time off. But I can understand the lack of motivation. Some people, especially those that are not retired like myself, those that are still working for a living, raising kids, they're not getting enough sleep, and so they're tired. The last thing they want to do, either early in the morning when they get out of bed or after work, is to go for a run. So motivation can really be a challenge. I'll just recommend a couple of things that might improve your motivation, and also to actually enjoy running so that it really doesn't take a lot of motivation to do it. One thing that we can do to make us more motivated would be to make a running schedule. Devise a plan, about a month or two into the future, what kind of mileage you want to do, how many days a week you plan on running, and when. what time of day you plan to run. So if you actually, and do it in pencil, because we do have to change our plans when it comes to running. It is wise not to rigidly stick to a schedule, especially if you feel little tiny injuries that might be coming up, and that you may need to take a day off from your plan. But actually having a plan will increase your motivation to accomplish that plan. Another thing that I would recommend to get you motivated would be to schedule a 5K or a 10K in the future, a race, and pay money for it. Actually, register for that 5K and pay the registration fee. So if you've actually put out money for something, and if you actually have a date on the calendar, that's a motivational factor to keep you actually training, sticking to the schedule, so that you can prepare for that race. Also, another thing that I've read is to tell people that you plan on running in this race. That creates accountability. So if you're accountable to several people, family members, maybe somebody that you don't like, that'll tease you if you don't accomplish that goal. Just figure out little mental things that you can do to increase your motivation so that you'll actually do the training necessary to prepare for that road race. Another thing that you can do to make yourself feel good and feel much better so that you'll have energy to go out there and run without feeling like you have to get motivated would be your nutrition. If you're eating a lot of junk food and your nutrition is bad, then you're going to lack energy, and you're not going to want to get up early in the morning or after work to go for that run. So eat whole foods, eat a balanced diet, don't eat refined sugar, don't eat all that candy and candy bars and donuts and ice cream. Add a little bit more protein to your diet. Don't eat so many carbohydrates. Just eat a lot of green leafy vegetables. Raw vegetables are awesome. Eat more salads. So if you do that, fresh fruits, do that, and I guarantee you'll experience more energy to go out there and run, so you don't have to feel motivation. Another thing is easier said than done would be to try to get more sleep, try to have a more consistent sleep schedule. And again, if you're holding down a job and you have little children, things like that, then things like that, those little things, that'll definitely lower your energy levels. So do the best you can to get more consistent sleep at night, and then you'll feel more motivated. Oh, another thing that will kill motivation is running too fast during your easy days. It's important to follow the rule of make your easy days easy and your hard days hard. And I like the 80-20 rule. So 80% of your runs should be easy runs, and 20% can be hard runs if you want. Those 80% easy runs, those mean easy so that you're doing aerobic training, not anaerobic training. So if you're breathing too hard during your runs, then you're pushing it too hard. What the problem with pushing yourself hard on your easy days is that you're going to be tired the next day. You're not going to be fully recovered when you go out and run again. Recovery is absolutely crucial if you're going to have the energy to actually want to go out there and run again. So make sure you're recovering well between runs, and that has to do with making your easy runs easy. Stick to a slower aerobic pace for 80% of your runs. And then on that 20%, for me, that's just once a week, since I only run 3 days a week, and then I do indoor cycling 2 days a week. I'm only doing a hard workout once a week. And so that makes it easy. And then I give myself a couple of days recovery after that hard workout before I then do easy run. So there you go. Make sure that you're not pushing yourself too hard so that you're not fully recovered for your next run. If you have low energy levels, you're not going to be motivated to get out there and do it. So consistency is key. I've discussed a couple of things that can get in the way of consistency so that we're taking way too many days off from our running. One of those is injuries. So it's important to not push yourself too hard. It's important to listen to your body. It's important to be realistic when you make your training schedule so that you're not going to stress those bones, ligaments, and muscles too much. And secondly is find out, do little things to increase your motivation to where you actually want to get out there and run. That's very important. So if you're lacking motivation, then you're not going to be consistent in your training. So figure out other ways. I've mentioned a few little things that you can do to get motivated, but all it takes is a quick search on the internet, and you can find all sorts of tips to increase your motivation and to increase discipline. Hey, that's a factor as well. Anyway, best of luck to you. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in a week or two. Thanks.